name is Justin Burtis. I am a new graduate assistant for sports communication here at William Penn University. It's my privilege here to be doing the women's soccer team preview video, which means we're going to turn our attention over here to head coach Jaymee Highcock. How was your summer, sir?
It's been good. Obviously, it's very busy. People think that it's the so-called off-season or the downtime, but it's extremely busy. Recruitment never stops, and self-improvement never stops. And getting ready for pre-season is quite a taxing event. So it's been good. It's been busy, but we're excited that we're in pre-season, and we're excited for the season to start again.
Well, then we'll move on to the women's soccer team. We'll start with last year, 8-10-1 finish overall, 3-8 in heart play. What were your thoughts, impressions, takeaways from last year?
It was a successful season, I would say, especially towards the end. We maybe didn't have as many wins as what we thought we were initially going to get, but we salvaged a few big wins at the end. We made the conference playing game, which was big time for us. And overall, it was a steady season. It's still a large amount of wins that maybe they hadn't had in years past on the women's program. But I thought the girls dug in and they managed to salvage something in the season and give us a base to really kick on this year. And if other teams had had that season, I still think they would have classed that as a very good season. Just we're a bit more hungry, a bit more determined, and we want to improve on the record, really.
Who are some of the individuals that stood out over the course last year? We were going to highlight Anna Matthews, of course, who started off really strong, leading the team in goals there.
Yeah, obviously Anna had a great season. She scored a lot of goals in her first year in college, playing college soccer. We had a few seniors, Laura Cartwright and Ashley Broker, who played some very big minutes. And we also had Tori in the midfield, who did a good job as well. And there was a number of girls, really. It was obviously a very young team that we played last season. Lily Cougar Fountain being one girl, played some big minutes as well for a younger classman player. But yeah, they were good. And this is the time to improve, really, and make ourselves better for this season.
What would you say was your best game?
Well, good question. Grandview. It was quite an interesting game against Grandview. The dynamic of the way the game was panning out was, we could see there's some very talented players and they had a very deep bench, and we were trying to adjust to that, really, on what they brought to that game, and for us to come through towards the end and get a win, and that was a big win, and that was easily the most excited we've been, and probably the most happiest we've been in a win last season.
Looking forward to some more exciting games.
Yeah.
Since my first year here, I really want to see some good action out there, as I'll be calling the games. And moving on, so now we're to this off season. What happened? I mean, you replaced a few seniors, of course. What happened on the recruit side, bringing in freshmen, and what happened in call it the transfer market, getting other players in from around the world?
Yeah, we brought in a lot of new players. Obviously we're returning Riley Ludwig in goal, which is pretty big for us. She didn't play last season, and she'll be coming back as a senior in goal, so that will definitely help the back line. We've got Zoe Ganley, who's a very talented centre-back from Hawaii. She's come in. The back line is very young, actually, very talented, very athletic. You've got Erica from California. You've got Cece from California, plays right back as well. So there's some of the newer players. And then going into the midfield, you've got another new girl called Iris. Carissa's there. And then if you're going through into the front line, we've got a young girl called Caitlin Fellaini up front as well. And she's playing some good minutes at the moment, doing well. So I'd definitely say that this is a more athletic, a more younger, hungrier team than last season, and maybe a little bit more talent than last season. But I just think talent doesn't always win your games. It's got to come together. It's got to mesh and be good. So the others are good so far, though.
Yeah, there's a good mixture of things that get put together to make the team. So then, kind of building off of that, where do you think this team right now is compared to the team at this stage last year?
It's good. I think we're probably a little bit more ahead. Like I said, we've got a bit more of a steady back line in place. I think we've really focused on our defensive shape and unit and personnel in pre-season. I think we've almost got that down, which is good. And like I said, I think we've just got a bit more athletic players, a bit more dynamic players, which means we're probably a little bit more ahead. Now, tactically and technically, they've got a lot to improve, but I think their athleticism, their speed and their youth will actually put us in a better position now than we maybe were last season.
Good. Then before I move on to a couple other questions, any other formation, tactical or by position stuff you want to throw in?
Yeah, I mean,
without giving any away.
Oh no,
away,
no,
of
it's
course.
fine. I mean, people are going to do their research on us. It's very difficult to always say at the collegiate level, you know, we want to play this way, we want to play that way. You have to honestly see your players when they arrive. You know, we sign students and kids from all around the world and on video highlights sometimes. So until we actually see them play in person, it's very difficult to say we're going to play 4-4-2, we're going to play 4-3-3, we're going to play 3-5-2 or whatever. You know, we are looking at playing a variation of a 4-3-3 with regards to tactics. But yeah, you know, I think as the season goes and as pre-season goes, and as we get ready for Avila next Saturday, I think we should have a better indication then of where we'll go.
That sounds good. And getting a couple preseason in is good, especially because then you hit the ground running with non-conference schedule before we move into Heart Play. So who did you pick for non-conference this year?
Yeah, it's obviously a very difficult job getting non-conference games on the schedule, getting the correct games. You know, we play a good St. Ambrose team. We've got Robert Morris, who are obviously a very good team. Avila get better every year, and there's other teams that will play against this non-conference schedule, and it will prepare us for a good conference season. You know, there is a few very, very top teams in our conference, and there's also, you know, like a middle pack that maybe if we can hopefully break into, that would be good. But yeah, you know, I think we'll be prepared and we'll be ready for a good conference season.
Any games in particular for the conference season that you want to highlight as marquee matchups, or one big one that's...
The Grandview game's always big. I think that we're always doing well against them. I know we beat them last season as well. So that was always a very competitive game with our local rivals. You know, Colford Stockton's became somewhat of a local rival as well, with geographically where they are and the games we've had against them. And yeah, there's plenty of games really as well that, you know, that are in and about us that we should win. But yeah, those would be maybe two of the games I would highlight as big games.
Oh, very good. Then before we go, just two closing questions then. What's kind of your expectation overall for the season? Where are you looking to get out of it?
You know, we want to get a winning record. We recognise we do have a young team. We had a very young team last year and we've got a very young team this year. So we know it is a process, but the goal is to get a winning record, whether that's 9, 10 wins, which will get you a winning record. You know, only the season will tell. You know, and then hopefully break into the playoffs with the new format that's in place. It's going to be more difficult, but it has to be something that we have to aim for. And then just taking it game by game. You know, if we can get it to click and we can buy into our strengths, we should have a very good season. You know, we're excited by it. Like, it's a young, hungry team. We've done an awful lot of work recruiting to get these girls. There's only 2 or 3 seniors on the team as well, so it's definitely a team for the future. And we know it's a process, so hopefully we can get some good results this season.
Very good. And then just to kind of close, you're both men's and women's soccer coach. How do you end up balancing that? Because going through 2 different complete squads of 20, 30 players each, and being able to manage everyone and think this, and then for game days 20 minutes later, switch it over to this team.
It's a good question. I love what I do. You know, it's I don't see it as any sort of work, as any sort of chore. I always say the same to people. It gives me 2 chances of winning. You know, there's no better feeling than when I was managing one team and you go there and you get a win, and it's a great feeling. Well, if I go on the road and we get 2 wins, it's double the joy.
Even better, that's right.
And then obviously on the flip side, you go, if one team loses, you have another chance to get a win on the other end. So there's always that element. But yeah, I mean, you've got to treat everyone as individuals. You know, men and women are different. But you know, this is the best coaching staff that they've ever had here, regardless if it's coaching 2 programs, you know, with me, Simon, Yuri, Dobby, Amber, and Paul, whoever's on staff. This is the best coaches for this position. It doesn't matter if we're doing 2 programs or we're doing 1 program. We are brought in. This is our dream that we're doing. We love what we do every day. Yes, there's longer days, especially in pre-season, than other coaches have. But it's enjoyable. It's influencing people's lives. It's preparing to do well constantly, and you know, we love what we do. So you know, hopefully both teams can win lots of games this year, and it can make me double as happy, I guess.
That would be fantastic.
Thank you very much. Great first interview.
Season, and we'll see you and hopefully you all out at the soccer field soon.